The girl with nothing. She opened her eyes slowly. Dust was in the air. The sky above was gray. The sun was weak, hidden behind thick smoke. The ground was cracked and dead. Buildings stood like broken teeth, silent and empty. Her name was Sarah. She had nothing. No food, no water, no family, only her clothes. Sarah stood up slowly. Her feet were bare. Her stomach hurt. She hadn't eaten in 2 days. This was Zarian 6, a forgotten planet. Long ago, it was full of life. Now it was just a graveyard after the Great War. Sarah was not human. She was from a weak alien race called the Telnari. They were small, thin, and had pale blue skin. Many called them useless. After the war, they were left to die. Sarah had been surviving by trading. She traded anything she could find: old wires, broken tools, or even her own clothes. One sleeve for bread, a scarf for water, a boot for a place to sleep. Now she only had her shirt and pants left in the ruins of an old shipyard. She found a small market. No real shops, just hungry people with desperate faces. Everyone looked at Sarah with cold eyes. Got something to trade? A large alien with metal arms asked. Sarah showed a small copper wire. For food, she said quietly. The alien laughed. That's nothing. She lowered her eyes. Please, just a little. He threw her a half-eaten energy bar. That's all you'll get. She caught it and walked away fast. She didn't want trouble. She sat behind a broken wall and ate. Slowly. She saved the last bite for later. Suddenly, the ground shook. People screamed. A loud boom came from the sky. Sarah looked up. A fireball was falling from the clouds. Fast it crashed into the hills outside the city, sending smoke and dust high into the air. Sarah stared. Was it a meteor? Or something else? Curiosity pulled her. She had nothing else to do. Maybe it was valuable. Maybe she could trade it for more food. She walked for an hour through broken roads and silent trees. The wind carried smoke and the smell of burnt metal. Finally, she saw it. A crash pod. Big, round, still smoking. It had strange markings on the side. Not alien.human.serh froze.humans.stories said they were monsters. They once ruled the galaxy. They fought every race and won. But after the Great War, they disappeared. No one knew why. Some believed they were extinct. Others said they were hiding, waiting to strike again. She stepped closer. The pod door was open. Inside, someone moved. Sarah gasped. It was a man. Tall, strong, covered in blood and dirt. His skin was light brown. His face had sharp lines. His left arm was metal. His eyes opened. Sarah took a step back. The man looked at her. His voice was rough. Where am I? Sarah didn't answer. She was scared, but curious too. Zarian 6, she said finally. He winced. Damn, wrong jump coordinates. He tried to stand but fell. Sarah moved forward. Something in her heart told her not to run. Are you human? She asked. He looked at her for a long time. Yes, she looked around. If others found him, they would kill him. Or worse, people here, they won't help you. I don't need help, he said, trying to stand again. He failed. Sarah thought for a moment. Then she did something strange. She reached out her hand. I'm Sarah. The man stared at her hand. He didn't move. Then slowly, he reached out and shook it. Jack. His hand was warm, strong. Sarah helped him sit up. She gave him the last bite of her energy bar. He looked at it, then at her. You need this more than I do. I already ate, she lied. Jack ate it slowly. Then he leaned back and closed his eyes. Sarah sat beside him. The wind was cold. She didn't know why she stayed. Maybe because for the first time, someone didn't look at her like trash. She had only her clothes, but something inside her said ... Things were about to change. Night fell over the dead hills of Zarian 6. The wind carried ash and silence. Sarah sat near the crash pod, arms around her knees, staring into the dark. The human Jack was asleep inside the pod. His breath was shallow, his face pale. He had lost a lot of blood. She could have left. She should have left. But something stopped her. She didn't understand it. Maybe it was the way he looked at her. Not like she was weak or dirty or worthless. Just like a person. The stories said humans were dangerous. Beasts in war. Killers of entire planets. But this one was broken, hurt, alone, just like her. Suddenly, Jack groaned. His eyes opened. He sat up slowly, holding his side. "You're still here?" he asked. Sarah nodded. "You need help." He looked away. "Don't waste your time." She pulled out a dirty cloth and handed it to him. He wrapped it around his arm. "Why are you helping me?" he asked. Sarah didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Because no one helped me." Jack stared at her. The fire inside the pod flickered, lighting his face. A metal scar ran from his ear to his jaw. It glowed faint blue. "What is that?" Sarah asked. Pointing Dot, he hesitated. Then he spoke. "Combat implant. Old tech. Still alive." Somehow, he touched it gently. For a moment, it blinked, beeped once, then stopped. Sarah leaned in closer. She could see numbers flashing deep under his skin like a countdown. "Is it a weapon?" She whispered. Jack looked at her. "Everything on me is a weapon." They stayed silent for a while. The cold crept in through the ruined pod walls. Finally, Sarah spoke again. "You came from Earth?" Jack shook his head. "I don't know anymore. Earth is ... far, lost. Why did humans disappear?" She asked. He sighed. "Because we got tired of fighting. Tired of being the monsters." "But you won the war," Sarah said. "Did we?" He said quietly. In the distance, a strange sound echoed. Buzzing. Then howls. Sarah stood up fast, her eyes wide. "Scavengers," she said. Jack sat up, alert. "They smell heat. They'll come here. They eat anything, even bones." He looked around the pod. "We have to move." "You can't walk," she said. Jack clenched his jaw. "I'll crawl if I have to." Sarah helped him up. His body was heavy, but he tried not to show the pain. They slipped into the shadows, leaving the pod behind them. The buzzing grew louder. They found shelter inside an old cum tower, long dead, covered in vines and rust. Jack sat against the wall, breathing hard. Sarah found a blanket in a locker. She wrapped it around him. "I'll keep watch," she said. He shook his head. "You sleep first." She looked surprised. "No one ever said that to me before," she said. Jack gave a small smile. "Then you've been around the wrong people." Outside, the scavengers reached the crash site. They howled into the night, but Sarah and Jack were already gone. As Sarah watched him sleep, her eyes fell on the strange implant again. It was glowing. Then, for a second, it projected something, a flicker of light, like a map. It vanished before she could understand it. She didn't know yet. But the device had scanned her DNA. It had found something. Something very rare. Something human. The first bounty came 6 hours later. A transmission flashed across black market screens in the city ruins. A grainy photo appeared, Jack's face half covered in blood, one eye glowing faint blue. Under the photo were 3 words in bold. "Red, wanted, human alive." And below that, the reward, 50,000 plasma credits. Enough to buy a ship. Enough to escape this dying world. Every mercenary, smuggler, and killer on Zarian 6 saw the message, and they all started hunting. Back in the tower, Jack was getting stronger. Sarah watched him train slowly, using broken pipes like weights. He Winced but didn't stop. You're healing fast, she said. Nanotech. Human body upgrades, Jack replied. Still hurts like hell. Sarah studied him. I've never seen someone fight pain like that. Jack didn't look at her. That's because you've never seen a real soldier. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the shadows. Well, guess I just got rich. Sarah spun around. A tall creature stepped out, cybernetic eyes, claws for fingers, and a grin made of metal. A bounty hunter. He raised his gun. Human, you're coming with me. Jack didn't move. You don't want to do this. Sure. I do. Dead or alive, I still get paid. Sarah moved in front of Jack. He's hurt. Let him go. The hunter laughed. You? A Telnari girl? Trying to protect him? That's cute. He pointed the gun. Sarah didn't blink. Then Jack stepped forward. Fast. In one move. He grabbed the hunter's arm, twisted it, and slammed him into the wall. The gun fired. Missed. The hunter screamed. Sparks flew from his metal face. Then, silence. Sarah stared. Jack was bleeding again. But standing. I told him, Jack said, wiping blood from his hand. He didn't listen. They ran, through tunnels, down broken streets, into the wild forests that had swallowed the edge of the city. More bounty hunters followed. Drones flew overhead. Everyone wanted the human. By nightfall, Sarah and Jack reached an old bunker. It was half buried, overgrown with vines. The door was rusted shut. Jack ripped it open with both hands. Inside, darkness, silence, dust. Safe. For now. Sarah lit a small fire using scrap. Jack sat across from her, his face in the glow. You were trained for this, weren't you? She asked. Jack nodded. Before the fall, I was part of Recon Unit 9. What happened to your team? Jack's eyes grew darker. They died on Astron. I was the only one who made it out. Sarah didn't speak. She just watched him. Then she asked, Why are they hunting you? Jack looked at her. Because humans scare them. But you're alone. I'm not, he said. Then he pressed a small device on his wrist. A blue screen appeared in the air. A hologram. It showed a signal. Weak but alive. Earth listening. Tracking source. Reply in 72 hours. Sarah's eyes widened. You contacted Earth? He nodded. I wasn't supposed to survive that jump, but now they know I'm alive. Outside, something moved. Not bounty hunters this time. Something worse. Back in the city. A council of alien warlords gathered in secret. Leader slammed his fist on the table. A human has landed. This cannot be ignored. They say the girl is helping him, another added. She's no threat, someone said, but the leader's eyes glowed with anger. Humans are never alone. If he's here, others will follow. We must kill him before they arrive. He turned to the shadows. From the dark, a tall assassin stepped forward, face hidden, blades glowing. Find them. And them both. Back in the bunker, Sarah couldn't sleep. Jack sat near the fire, silent, watching the signal on his screen. You're not like the stories, she said finally. He looked at her. And you're not like the galaxy says about your people. She smiled, but just a little. He added, I don't trust anyone, but I'm starting to trust you. Sarah looked at him. She was afraid to believe that. But in her chest, her heart beat faster. Outside, cold stars filled the sky. And far above, something moved. A fleet, human-made, cloaked. Earth had heard the signal, and it was coming. It rained ash the next morning. Not water. Not snow. Ash. Gray flakes fell from the sky like dead feathers, drifting over the broken bunker where Sarah and Jack hid. The world was quiet, but not peaceful. Inside, Jack lay on a piece of old metal, using his jacket as a pillow. Sarah sat on the floor, knees pulled to her chest, watching the fire slowly die. No words had been spoken for an hour, but her mind was full. She looked at Jack's face, his scars, his tired eyes, the faint blue light in his neck implant pulsing like a heartbeat. He was dangerous. He was hunted. He was human. And yet, she didn't feel fear. She felt something else. Jack opened one eye. "You're staring again." Sarah blinked. "Sorry." He smiled faintly. "It's okay. I'd stare too if I were you." She rolled her eyes. "You're not that special?" Jack laughed. For the first time, it sounded real. Sarah smiled too. Just for a second. Then she said, "I don't understand." "You?" Jack sat up, groaning. His side still hurt. "I don't understand myself either." "Why help me?" she asked. "Why trust me?" "You didn't leave me to die," Jack said. "That's more than most would do." There was silence again, not awkward, just full. Then Sarah spoke quietly. "When I was 10, soldiers came to our village. They took my parents for testing, they said." She looked down. "They never came back." Jack didn't speak. Sarah continued. "After that, I ran. I hid. I survived. But no one ever helped me. I was always the weak one. The nobody." Jack's voice was low. "You're not weak." She looked at him. "You've survived on this hell planet alone. You saved me. You face killers without flinching." He paused. "That's strength." Outside, lightning flashed. Silent. Far away. A storm was coming. Jack stood slowly, his arm shaking. He reached into his boot and pulled out a small, round device. "Know what this is?" Sarah shook her head. "Neurosync core. Used by human soldiers to share knowledge or pain." He looked at her. "Want to try it?" Her eyes widened. "Why?" He hesitated. Then said, "Because if we're going to survive together, you need to understand who I am." Sarah took the device. She pressed it to her temple. For a moment, nothing. Then fire, flashes, explosions, screams. She saw through Jack's eyes. She felt his first battle, the cold fear in space, the pressure of war. She saw his team laughing beside him and then dying. She saw the betrayal, the Galactic Council, turning on the humans after they helped to win the war. And she saw Jack fall from orbit in a pod. Alone, burning through the sky, she gasped. The connection broke. She fell back, shaking. Jack caught her. "Sorry," he said softly. "I didn't show you the good parts." Sarah's hands trembled. "You lost everything." "So did you," he said. And for a moment, they were the same. Later that night, they sat side by side near the bunker door, watching the ash fall like snow. Sarah asked, "If Earth comes back, what will they do?" Jack answered slowly, "That depends who comes. If it's the old guard, they'll burn this place down. And if it's the new Earth?" He looked up at the sky. "Then maybe we have a chance." A soft chime echoed from his wrist device. The signal was stronger now. 2 days, Jack said. Then they arrive. Sarah touched her chest. Something felt strange, like something waking up inside. Her skin felt warmer. Her mind clearer. She didn't know it yet. But Jack's tech had triggered something in her blood, a mutation. A beginning. In the distance, a ship entered the planet's orbit, cloaked, silent. Not human. Not friendly. Down in the ruins, the assassin who had been sent to kill them knelt beside the body of the failed bounty hunter. He touched the blood on the wall, sniffed it, then whispered, "They're bonding. That makes it easier. 2 targets, 1 heart." Back in the bunker, Sarah fell asleep beside Jack, closer now, and in her dream, she saw stars exploding and herself standing alone in the fire, holding a human weapon in one hand and something else in the other, hope. They had one rule now, trust no one, but rules are easy to break when you're tired, hungry, and starting to believe you're safe. Sarah and Jack had found a place, a hidden tech vault buried under the sand near the old spaceport. Jack used his implant to open it. Inside were supplies, weapons, and power cells still glowing after 20 years. It felt safe. For once, they weren't just running. They were surviving. Together. Jack trained in silence, faster now, stronger. The human tech inside him was stabilizing. Sarah watched. He moved like a soldier again. She had changed too. She could feel it in her bones. Her breath, her thoughts. Sharper. Faster. Different. But with change comes risk. On the third day, a voice echoed from the tunnel outside. Sarah, is that you? She froze. Jack raised his weapon. Footsteps. Familiar. From the shadows stepped a young alien man, thin, dusty, pale blue skin like hers. Wreck? Sarah whispered. He smiled. I knew it was you. I heard rumors. That a Telnori girl was traveling with a human. I didn't believe it, but here you are. She ran to him and hugged him. He smelled like smoke and dirt and childhood memories. Jack didn't move, didn't lower his weapon. Rex's eyes flicked to him. So it's true. You're really with a human. He saved me, Sarah said. Rex nodded slowly. Or used you. That's what humans do. Jack stared. And who are you? Rex smiled coldly. Someone who remembers what humans did to my people. Sarah stepped between them. Rex is my cousin. We grew up together. Jack didn't reply. But he didn't trust him. Not for 1 second. Later that night, Rex shared food. Told stories. Made Sarah laugh, really laugh. For the first time in days. Jack watched from a distance. Something felt wrong. Too easy. Too smooth. Too late. Just before dawn, Sarah woke to a whisper. Sarah. Wake up, Rex. She sat up. He leaned close. His voice was low. We can go now. There's a ship waiting. It can take us off-world. Just you and me. Sarah blinked. What? What about Jack? Rex's smile dropped. You really don't see it, do you? He's not your friend. He's a weapon. You're just a key to unlock him. That's not true. He's a human, Sarah, a killer. They burned our worlds. You think he'll stay with you when Earth comes back? She didn't answer. Rex. Eyes turned cold. I told him you wouldn't listen. She stepped back. Told who? Rex raised a hand, and from the shadows, the assassin appeared. Tall, masked, blades humming. Sarah's breath caught. Rex whispered, I'm sorry, but I had to choose our kind. Jack came through the door like fire, blaster raised. The assassin moved like lightning, steel. Against steel. Sparks. Blood. Rek pulled Sarah back. Let them fight. Just come with me. You don't belong with him. She looked into Rex's eyes. Then, down at the plasma knife in her belt. And she chose. She stabbed him. Quick. Clean. He gasped. At her in shock. You? Sarah's eyes were full of tears. I did belong with him. Until you proved I couldn't belong with you. Rex fell. Silent. The assassin was faster than Jack. Too fast. He pinned Jack to the wall, blade at his throat. You should have stayed dead, human. Before he could strike, a flash of blue light hit him from behind. The assassin flew back, crashing into a wall. Sarah stood with Jack's blaster in her hand. Shaking. Breathing hard. You okay? She asked. Jack nodded, bleeding. You killed your cousin, he said quietly. She didn't speak. Later. They buried Rex under the gray sand. No words. Only silence. That night. Sarah sat alone, staring at her hands. Jack came beside her. You didn't have a choice. She looked at him. I still made one. He looked at her for a long time. You're stronger than I was? When I had to make mine. She didn't reply, but her eyes were cold now. She had burned a piece of her past, and she didn't cry again. Above them, the stars shifted. The human fleet was closer. Earth was almost here. And far below, deep in the alien council's chamber, a new order was given. Kill the girl first. Something was wrong with her blood. Sarah could feel it, burning under her skin like fire, like light, like change. She didn't sleep much anymore, didn't feel cold, didn't feel tired. She saw farther, heard deeper, moved faster. Jack noticed. At first, you didn't blink when I fired that shot, he said. Sarah looked at him. I heard it before you pulled the trigger. He didn't smile. He studied her. Something in his eyes. Caution? No. Fear. They were moving again, heading north toward the human signal beacon. The fleet was only hours away now. The sky above. Zarian 6 glowed with strange colors. Red, blue, green. Something was tearing through the planet's old orbit lines. The galaxy was watching. In an abandoned Telnari facility, they stopped for rest. Old med labs lined the walls, broken tanks filled with dust and bones. Jack found a working console. He scanned Sarah just to be safe. Then he froze. What is it? She asked. He didn't answer. Jack? He turned the screen toward her. Her DNA was changing, faster than anything he'd seen before. Not human, not alien. A third thing. You touched the implant, he said quietly. That's where it started. The device saw something in your blood. A key. A match. Sarah stared at the screen. I don't feel sick, she whispered. You're not sick, Jack said. You're evolving. Outside, ships began landing in the wasteland. Scouts from the Galactic Council. The assassin had failed. The warlords were coming to finish the job themselves, and at the same time, so was Earth. Sarah walked alone through the ruins that night. Lights danced under her skin now, soft, blue veins glowing through her fingers. She pressed her hand to a dead wall. It powered on. She gasped. Old lights flickered to life. Machines hummed. Security doors clicked open. Her body had become a passcode. Jack found her staring at her reflection in a cracked screen. My eyes, she said. They're different. They glow. I don't want this, she said. I know, Jack replied, but I don't want to be weak anymore either. He looked at her. You're not weak. You never were. Suddenly, an explosion shook the ground. The enemy had arrived. Tanks rolled in. Alien soldiers dropped from the sky. Plasma drones filled the air. And in the center, the warlord himself stepped forward. Tall, covered in black armor. His voice like thunder. Give me the girl, or die with her. Jack loaded his rifle. Sarah stepped forward. No, the warlord laughed. You think you can fight us? You're just a broken hybrid. No, she said again. I'm not broken. She raised her hands, and the ground split beneath her. The machines buried under the planet woke up, reacting to her blood. Her mind. Towers rose, guns turned. Lights blazed. A forgotten Telnari defense system activated for the first time in 30 years, because Sarah had become the link between human tech and alien history. The warlord stepped back. What are you? She answered softly. A bridge. The battle exploded. Sarah moved like lightning, dodging blasts, tearing through armor, using tech she didn't know she understood. Jack fought beside her, but slower now. He was watching her more than the enemy. Was she still the girl who gave him food? Still the one who whispered stories near the fire? Or had she become something else? When the dust settled, they had won. The warlord's army was broken, his ship destroyed. Only a few ran. Sarah stood over the battlefield, eyes glowing, body lit from within like a living reactor. Jack walked toward her, but didn't speak. She looked at him. You're scared of me now. He didn't lie. A little. She nodded. I am too. Above them, the human fleet broke the clouds. Drop pods fell like stars. Earth had returned. Above them, voice crackled through Jack's wrist. Recon unit detected. Human confirmed. Prepare extraction. But then another voice broke in, different, cold, commanding. Also detecting unknown hybrid. Secure, or eliminate if non-compliant. Sarah heard it. Her eyes narrowed. They don't want me alive, she said. Jack clenched his fists. They don't know you. Sarah turned away, watching the ships land. But they will. The sky cracked open. Human warships fell through the clouds like burning suns, slow and terrifying. Engines roared. Lights blinded the ash-covered land. They had come. Not to help. Not to ask. But to take control. Sarah stood at the edge of the cliff, watching the Earth fleet descend. Her body glowed faint blue. Her eyes burned like stars. Jack stood beside her, silent, armed, and unsure. The moment was here, and neither of them knew which side they were on anymore. The first human dropship landed. With a thud that shook the ground, soldiers poured out in black armor, faceless, fast, perfect. One of them stepped forward, a woman. Her voice came through the speakers. Jack Morgan. Recon Unit 9. You are ordered to return to command. The hybrid is not authorized to leave the surface. Sarah didn't move. Jack stared at the woman. She's not a threat. Not your call, soldier. She saved my life. She may end millions. Sarah looked at him, and Jack looked at her. Two hearts in chaos. Behind them, the ruins still burned. The warlord's army had fallen. The planet was theirs, but Earth didn't come to save. It came to erase. And start over. Sarah stepped forward. Slowly. The soldiers raised their weapons. Jack raised his hands. Don't shoot. The leader nodded. Stand down, all units. A pause. Then the woman said, carefully, Sarah, the tech inside you is unstable. You've merged with systems we don't understand. We can't allow you to leave. Sarah asked one question. Are you afraid of me? The woman didn't answer, but her silence spoke everything. Jack turned to Sarah. We can fight our way out. There's a way. Sarah shook her head. No more running? She looked at the soldiers. I am not a weapon. Her voice was soft, but it carried like thunder. I am not alien, not human. I'm something new. I am what comes next. Suddenly, her hands lifted, but not to fight. She pressed her palms to the dirt. The planet answered. Pulse of blue light spread from her body across the ground, reviving broken tech, healing dead machines, lighting up ruins like cities waking up after a long sleep. The Earth soldiers watched in awe. Nari. Systems, once useless, came alive, not for war, for rebirth. Jack watched it all. And in that moment, he understood. Sarah wasn't a danger. She was the cure, a bridge between two broken worlds. The human commander lowered her weapon. What do you want, Sarah? She looked up. Her answer was simple. I want a place where no one has to choose between fear and survival. One by one, the soldiers lowered their guns. Not because they were ordered, because they saw hope. For the first time in years, weeks passed. Earth began to build again, but not with fire. With trust. Sarah led the rebuilding, not as a leader, not as a queen, just as herself. Telnari came out of hiding. Other species followed. The ruins became cities again. Children played in streets where bones once lay. And Jack? He stayed, not as a soldier, but as a man who had once fallen from the sky and found something worth staying for. On the day the first Earth-Telnari alliance was signed, Sarah stood in front of a crowd, quiet, unsure, hands shaking. Born with nothing, she said, not power, not safety, not even shoes. People laughed softly. She smiled. I traded everything just to eat. But then I met a man from a forgotten world. And he reminded me that we don't need to be the same to stand together. The crowd cheered, but she wasn't looking at them. She was looking at Jack. That night, they sat under the stars, real stars, not covered in ash. Jack held her hand. You know they still don't fully understand what you are. Sarah smiled. Maybe that's the point. He looked at her. You changed everything. She shook her head. We changed everything. Far above them, new ships launched, not for war, but for peace. Not to conquer, but to connect. Sarah had only her clothes once. Now, she had a world.